Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, uh, today we look into few technologies which are used in medical information processing. So this information is from book one. I have already shared the second edition of the book as well. We will be looking into the second edition of the book in a few matter of time after a few more. So in this session, telemedicine, related technologies which are allied to telemedicine, they can save lives in a number of situations. We have gone through initial applications. पहले लेक्चर में हमने जो है वो एप्लीकेशंस के बारे में थोड़ा सा जाना है. There are different applications of telemedicine, and there is also a comprehensive range of service facilities, everything from search and rescue operations to general health monitoring. All these involve medical information being captured and converted into the digital domain with computers. So, without medical information, it is very difficult for today's medical expert to make a diagnosis and suggest some treatment based on that diagnosis. So that's why जब भी हम किसी हॉस्पिटल में जाते हैं, so the doctor actually suggests initial clinical examinations and require few reports, and based on that report, the doctor he or she may decide on a particular treatment और to primarily जो है वो सजेस्ट करते हैं पेशेंट को टुवर्ड्स ए मोर एक्सपर्ट डॉक्टर और क्लिनिशियन इन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया, जिसमें वो समझते हैं कि इसमें जो है वो बीमारी जो है वो ज़्यादा बेहतर अंदाज में आंसर दे पाएंगे. So number of advantages when information is available in medical in digital form is ease of transmission, processing, and storage. So these are some of the advantages. We already know these advantages using with the telemedicine. So medical information is especially associated with a single individual, जिसको हम patient भी कहते हैं, customer in hospital language. Hospital business में उसको customer भी कहेंगे. Person's medical history maybe must be kept in strict confidence at all times because of the rules and because of the legal issues which are linked with the health records. So we can compare this medical information with other kind of information available. For example, songs, movies, and similarly, for example, we are talking to someone and there is some noise when we are talking or we are conversation. So if we lost the medical information, it is a huge loss and it cannot be compared with the loss of a soul. So sometimes re-examination is required for the old information to replace with the new information. So this is a setup which we have already gone through in one of our previous lecture, that this is one view of primarily medical information system, which is in use maybe at a different department of the hospital or medical facilities. So there is a clinical lab. Yeah, I think we have gone through this slide already. So lab generates different kind of reports. Similarly, radiology, different kind of images, including ultrasound, X-rays, CT scan, MRI, and similar other kind. And say the body area network, the sensors generating different information about the patient under monitoring. So data is analyzed in the form of digital analytics, and it is also guided by the medical expert, and different reports and information to the response center are generated. And similarly, patient data, if it is available in the records, it can be accessed to verify the progress of disease, or to make sure there are some related diagnostic information present. इसके अलावा भी कई इसके यूजेज हो सकते हैं, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल रिसर्च पर्पस में यूज हो सकता है, किसी खास एरिया में किसी बीमारी का फैलाव जो है अगर ज़्यादा हो रहा है. So we have already gone through different important data collection measures which are taken by the use of different sensors and devices, and some of them can be consistently monitored as well, for example temperature and heart rate. Then we have gone through a phenomena in which the body temperature varies throughout the time of the day, but it is primarily between, let's say, 1 degree centigrade temperature range. So there is a range, lower range and the upper range. If the temperature shoot up, then an alert should be generated to the respective staff attendant, for example, ताकि वो उसको take care कर सके. Similarly, the same phenomena applies to the heart rate. As the heart rate varies at different time of the day, so there is a threshold which is applied. Similarly, we have gone through this underwater, primarily use of different sensors underwater. So there are different type of sensors and the mode of communication which are suggested in this diagram. I remember there was a question on beacon in the last session. Now this is a process when we gather the medical information from a sensor network, and there is a need to convert the information from analog to digital. Sometimes we have a sensor module which primarily include the analog to digital converter inside, and in that case the digital information is coming right away, reaching towards the transmitter, and in that case if we are using the sensor module, which is also a smart sensor, जिसके अंदर मेमोरी भी है और साथ साथ उसमें एनालॉग टू डिजिटल कन्वर्शन भी है. So in that type, the AD module, analog to digital conversion, separately is not required. So then after transmission, we have the data which is primarily goes through stored and also go through some analysis procedure to generate the reports. So this is how the data is gathered usually. Now the medical imaging process, in this process the image is primarily acquired. So there is a mean, there is a device which is used for the image acquisition, and that image data is then transferred to the database or to the image analysis or to the both, based on the requirement of immediate attention or not. For example, CT scan की बात करते हैं. CT scan is the equipment which is, and X-ray, which is readily available to the emergency units in the hospital. So in the hospital, when a person is brought to the emergency, these units are available from the radiology side. But MRI is usually not available, or if available, it is at a distance from the emergency. ये normal setup है. In some setups there may be some different conditions, but usually the X-ray and CT is available near the emergency. So if a person is in emergency and being monitored with the equipment, जो कि जो है टीम्स जो है डिफरेंट लोकेशंस पे हॉस्पिटल में या अक्रॉस द डिफरेंट डिस्टेंसेस पे मौजूद हैं looking after that particular patient. So if there is a need of imaging modality, so the primary concern or the immediate availability is the X-ray and CT. These type of modalities, they generate the images, and based on the requirement, they are either stored for analysis later on, or they can be primarily displayed for the immediate attention for the expert as well as the attendant. तो ये conditions या cases हो सकते हैं. I'm sure these diagrams are now updated in the newer book. उसमें हमें कुछ और चीजें भी सीखने को मिल जाएंगी. So this is a setup in which a CT or MRI machine is shown here, and examination is being conducted. And on the right side, this is just to show that now advanced 3D visualization is possible through these imaging modalities. So these modalities can help to further increase the health improvements or healthcare improvements on the time of need. Similarly, there are other technologies. This is the X-ray. CT scan is primarily multiple X-ray technology, which is based on the reflection of X-ray and the passing of the X-ray through primarily the nucleus through the atom or the structure of the human or any living tissue. आमतौर पे एक्सरे जो है वो इंडस्ट्री एप्लीकेशन में भी इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, अल्ट्रासाउंड भी यूज़ किया जाता है, बट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर केस ये चेस्ट एक्सरे की एग्जांपल है. सो द एक्सरे प्लेट is radiated through the human body, जो कि human body is in between the X-ray source, the radiation source, and the plate which is storing the information. So when the information passed through and radiated, illuminated on the X-ray plate, this kind of image is formed. Similarly, the ultrasound is another modality which is used to determine the water molecules or the fluid which are present inside the human body. So their reflection of the sound waves are used to generate the images. So in medical imaging course, you will learn more about inside those imaging modalities, how they generate different type of visible images. Similarly, we have another technology which is used on the images. This is the medical image compression, and the medical image compression is used usually on the images which are not diagnostically important, because there is a resistance between medical expert to primarily use of compression on images which contain the diagnostic information. लास्ट सेशन में हमने जो चीज़ सीखी थी और जानी थी वो ये थी कि there are possibilities whenever we have a medical examination. So the person may be normal person and there is no disease related information present in the images. So in that case, we say that the images or the study or the examination is not diagnostically important. But in the case when the sign of the disease or the traces of any disease are present, symptoms are present inside the image, then we say that this image has a diagnostic value or diagnostic information is present inside that image. So the doctors do not actually, or the medical experts do not actually want to compress that information, and they want to preserve the diagnostic information as it comes out of the modality. However, there are some cases in which the medical image enhancement algorithms are applied so that the more insights of the images can be visible to the medical doctors. So in compression, the benefit of the compression is that we can save more images to a less space available या storage. तो compress कर देंगे images को. तो अगर लेट्स से एक हमारे पास स्टडी है और उस स्टडी के अंदर जो है वो लेट्स से दिस इज द रेशो of the diagnostically important information which should be preserved, and this data does not contain any diagnostic information. So this space can be primarily used, the compression can be used on these images and compress those images, let's say with the ratio of 10 to 1, and the other case the information is saved without any compression. Okay, let's say 1 to 1. Okay. So in that particular case, there is, as you can see, there is a saving of a lot of space. तो जो सीटी स्कैन के साथ हमारे पास जो स्टोरेज है, अगर वो 6 मंथ्स के लिए इन सेव कर सकता है डेटा को या एग्जामिनेशंस को, तो नो बाय यूजिंग दिस स्कीम इट कैन इवन primarily extend and can use up to 2 years of data inside, which is a huge achievement, but at the cost of information loss on the area of compressed images. तो compressed जो space होगी images की, उसमें कुछ ना कुछ information ज़रूर loss हो जाएगी. जब हम उस image को restore करेंगे, we will see some artifacts, some blurring artifacts. ठीक है? तो ये चीज़ जो है ये this is related with the compression technologies. जब मैं हॉस्पिटल में जॉब करता था तो उस वक्त कंप्रेशन टेक्नोलॉजीज आर नॉट एज वाइडली यूज्ड. उस वक्त जो पैक्स सिस्टम था उसमें जेपैग वाज, यानी जो जेपैग फॉर्मेट है, इट वाज नॉट प्रेजेंट बट लेटर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड. ये फिर कुछ टाइम के बाद जो है ना वो इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया. बट नो, जेपैग इज ए गुड फॉर्मेट टू प्राइमरली कंप्रेस द इमेजेस. There is also the incorporate of encryption because sometimes the diagnostic information region of the image can be stored in different format. This technology is not present in current systems, and this is only available for transmission, during the transmission of the images. But this technology can also be the future technology, and in that case a part of the image is primarily replaced with the information which cannot be easily deciphered. यानी यहाँ हमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा यहाँ क्या है. This is just a image which is encrypted, so a part of the image is encrypted. So based on that scheme, a crypto compression system can also be developed or designed. और इस केस में क्या होगा कि जो मोडेलिटी है, जैसे सीटी स्कैन है या एक्सरे है या एमआरआई है, so that primarily compress the images, and it can originally DICOM archive without any compression, and there is a compression is applied, and compressed data store, and also there is the encryption is applied, and encrypted information can also be stored along with the compressed information. So in this way, crypto compression system can be formed and can be realized. Means the two simultaneous technologies, the system in which the compression is used to save the storage, यानी जो स्टोरेज की लिमिट्स हैं उनको एड्रेस करने के लिए इनिशियली रिमेंबर जो स्टोरेज स्पेस थी दैट वाज वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. Nowadays storage space is not that expensive, but encryption is for to cater the security aspect of the medical information. So by this way, it is possible to realize a system which can store information which is both compressed and also contain the encryption or security technologies applied to it. So by this way, as you can see, the same diagram in which the region, the outer region, which does not contain the diagnostic information is compressed, and it is in the form of a blur primary region, because after decompression, the artifacts will appear in the form of blurring, okay, blurring the image. And similarly, the compressed image and also the encryption. So that encrypted part is not compressed. Okay, this is when the information is restored. As you can see, this component is primarily contain the uncompressed region. That means no compression is applied on this. So on the same image, there are two possibilities that if it is divided into two regions, so on one region compression is applied and on another region the encryption is applied. Now we are moving towards the biopotential electrode sensing, because biopotentials are primarily the means how we can primarily access the medical information. So electrical activities, for example, ECG, similarly EEG and EMG, and also other measurements of heart, brain, muscle, and sleep, they behave over time. That means they change over a period of time in a threshold. Okay, lower threshold, and upper threshold. Okay, इसके दरमियान में these quantities varies. Okay, if they varies in between them, they are okay. But if they go beyond that, then this is not okay. So it has to be taken care of. If it's sustained for a longer period of time, let's say this is the period of time. If it exceeds, then the immediate attention is required in that case. So these are usually measured by the electric potential on the surface of relevant tissue that corresponds to nervous stimulation and muscle contraction over the duration of measurement. So these are graphical representation of biomedical waveforms generated by plotting the electrical current amplitude over time. तो ये तो इसके behind the scene है कि what is the electrical different measurements are used. And now we have the outputs. Okay, so ECG and EEG outputs, which are nothing but the waveforms at this point in time. So these waveforms are coming from different, and they are also labeled according to the standards. Similarly, we have more diagrams, which are the book. The diagram is taken from the book. Similarly, another diagram. And now we are moving area which is called the case-based retrieval. Why the case-based retrieval is primarily important? Because this creates a knowledge base inside the database. तो database जो है primarily it is possible कि we can organize the database in the form of different cases, case studies. Okay, and whenever a new case comes in, we compare this case with the cases which are already there, and we can propose a diagnosis if there is some similarities found. Let's say this is case X, this is case Y, and their cases are similar. So the diagnosis which were initially suggested for case X can be now applied to the case Y. Okay, so this is the importance, and in this case this process can be automated if we have a huge database of different case studies which are linked to the new case, which can be linked to the new case. So in this case, there are number of, because this is cycle. So cycle mean it has number of steps and it is rotated. So we can start from any point in time. Let's say uh, from here retain, integrate in the case-based cases. We can revise, we can reuse, we can retrieve, and this is called the case-based retrieval cycle. So whenever we have encountered a new patient and we get some symptoms and we get some reports, we send this to the system, and system then goes through this cycle. It will retrieve, find the similar cases, and then reuse those cases and revise if there is some primarily solutions are available or need. So this is a new area, and it is recently appeared in the literature. I think few years ago, and this is also the, being implemented in different uh, systems, and if it is successful, then we can have a regional database, national database, local database, which can contain different cases, और वो cases जो है new के साथ compare होने के बाद they will generate primarily the automatic diagnosis. So this is we are talking about the knowledge systems. Knowledge systems are nothing but the database systems which contain different rules and the clinical studies. They can be primarily divided into the local. Let's say जैसे कराची के हैं, सिंध के हैं, सॉरी कराची के हैं, हैदराबाद के हैं, रीजनल बेसिस, for example Sindh level पे, and the national basis for example country level पे, and then we have international or world level as well, जो कि यहाँ दिखाया नहीं गया. So in the local case, local level, the pharmacy, the local clinic, general practitioner, nursing homes, they are shown. Whereas at regional level, the specialist clinics, consulting clinics, the regional hospitals, and the other clinics, they are incorporated. So regional contains local as well. Okay, local as well. So then it expands the national level. Okay, at the national level, then there are new setups which are added on to the local and the regional setup. So Department of Health, Public Health Engineering Department, National Health Services authorities, जैसे महकमा सेहत है, and also the insurance companies which primarily set up and service on different levels. आप देखें different levels के ऊपर भी हैं. These insurance companies are also providing service at the local level as well as at the regional level. Okay. So this type of database can be developed, which can contain the knowledge, maybe in the form of case-based, symptom-based, and some other primarily information, which can be help to everyone. So the linking are the primarily how these primarily are linked together is shown here. So जनरल ये देखना पड़ेगा कि जीपी से क्या प्राइमरली है आमतौर पे जनरल फिजिशियन ही प्राइमरली बहरहाल एनी हाउ so there is a linking of pharmacy, nursing homes, insurance companies, diagnostic laboratories, emergency services, hospital, NHS, and other clinics. So these all services are then linked together. And the knowledge management of electronic patient records. So if a patient arrived with a symptom, then it has to go through the pattern recognition, and then initially in a research hypothesis is formed कि इस patient को ये problem है या ये problem है और ये problem नहीं है, and this problem is not. Then previous similar cases were contacted and a probability is evaluated कि कितने % chance है कि इसको ये problem है या नहीं है. Then the diagnosis and treatment is primarily suggested and it is reviewed, because always remember के जो है वो there is no automated primarily suggestion to the patient. It is primarily a human expert is always required, human medical expert, okay, which review the case and then update or give the final suggestion. And then a history is being made, and that history contains different patterns, which then can primarily update those patterns as well for the matching purposes. तो ये एक साइकिल है, ये साइकिल वेरी कर सकता है, न्यू साइकिल इससे जनरेट हो सकते हैं. So primarily we have different patterns, and those patterns are compared with the new patterns, and a probability is primarily formed, and also after some human intervention there is an update in patterns and the cases as well. Okay, so there is also an update mechanism जो यहाँ show नहीं हुआ था, but there is also an update mechanism. So we are almost reached at the last few slides, in which the possibility of electronic drug store or pharmacy is foreseen, जिसमें जो है वो प्रिस्क्रिप्शन एंटर करें और जो है वो जो जो फार्मेसी है यानी जो टैबलेट्स हैं या जो मेडिसिन हैं, they will be automatically dispensed. And there is also possibility that web based, जिसमें जो है कि वेब के ऊपर आप प्रिस्क्रिप्शन जो है वो, इसमें जो प्रॉब्लम है वो ये है कि समटाइम्स डॉक्टर राइट प्रिस्क्रिप्शन इन बाय हैंड, and if they are write their prescription in the system in a digital format, which actually can facilitate further. Okay. So this is the last slide in which another diagnostic information is primarily shown here, and this is a part of the PACS system in which doctor has a facility to mark the region inside the image, and that marking is saved as a separate layer in the image database. तो जिसमें जो है वो कोई और डॉक्टर जो है उससे ट्रेनिंग हासिल कर सकता है या उससे ज़्यादा अच्छा एक्सपर्ट जो है वो फर्दर उसमें डायग्नोस्टिक्स जो है वो कर सकता है. So this is end. Just as a recap, in this session, we have primarily review few technologies which are linked with the medical information processing. So any question from the students?
No, sir.
अच्छा, आज स्टूडेंट्स की तादाद कुछ कम है, इसकी क्या रीज़न है जी? कोई बता पाएगा कि जो है वो अब तो हम 7th और 8th सेमेस्टर में दैट मीन हम 6th और 8th सेमेस्टर में हैं. So I request CRs to message all the groups, private groups and the official groups. So they should be present in the class as well. मेरी क्लास जो है वो इंशाल्लाह टाइमिंग पे ही होगी. अगर कुछ 5-10 मिनट का प्रॉब्लम हो जाए तो यू शुड वेट. सो वी विल बी डूइंग आवर क्लासेस अकॉर्डिंग टू द टाइम टेबल. रोशना, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? निम्रा, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
नो सर.
ओके, सितारा कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? हमाद,
नो सर, फाइन.
ओके, इस पॉइंट पे मैं चाहूँगा कि हम जो टेलीमेडिसिन की हमारी बुक 2 है उसको हम एक दफ़ा देख लें कि जो बुक 2 है उसमें इस चैप्टर में और क्या नई चीज़ जो है वो आई है. मेडिकल इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजीज. ओके, मेडिकल इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम, द टेक्नोलॉजीज विच आर wireless telemedicine systems deployments and data analytics and medical information processing. ओके, हम यहाँ पे ही. और इसमें अगर आप देखें तो मेडिकल इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोसेसिंग के साथ दे हैव एडिड द डेटा एनालिटिक्स एज वेल. So ultimately this will come up with new topics and subtopics here. So if we go ahead, we can see there are few 4.5 is added. This is related with artificial intelligence, and under 4.5 there are subtopics, and these subtopics are the deep learning and the mobile health and the virtual reality and the augmented reality and electronic drug store we covered here. But these three topics are still primarily we need to cover it. So there are two possibilities how we can cover it. One possibility is that I will actually extend the lecture slides. यानी यहाँ slides में बनाऊँ और वो आपको. The another thing is that we make group of students who primarily study these topics and make the points. जो उसमें से कुछ जो main points हैं उनको वो outline कर लें. And then we discuss those outline point in the form of a class discussion, जिसमें वो group जो है वो present करेगा कि I have studied for example this topic, artificial intelligence in mobile health. So and they come up, only 2 pages are there. Okay, so 107 page. .5. Okay, 4.5. For example, this is the 4.5.2 AI in mobile health. Okay, so the student group just read these few paragraphs and the diagram if there is a related diagram, and then they come up with their points, only 2 pages. So they come up with their list of 3 to 4 points, 3 to 4 points for a discussion. तो इस पे भी हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में इंशाल्लाह कल जो है हमारी इसमें इसको हम देख लेंगे. Okay, if there is any last question, our time is about to expire. फिर इंशाल्लाह कल मुलाकात होगी। ओके बेटा, अल्लाह हाफिज, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम सलाम सर।